Now, as we've talked about over the last couple of days, this concept that there is some sort of specialness that attaches to Māori and to the Treaty of Waitangi is being now actively promoted by New Zealand's leading tertiary provider, and that is Auckland University. Waipapa Taumatarau is a University of Auckland undergraduate paper that will be compulsory, if the University Council gets its way. And it requires a completion of a 15-point faculty-based course for all students relevant to their program of study. It'll have to be done in your first year. You won't be able to graduate without it. The course will provide a Māori-focused curriculum content, irrespective of whatever course it is, and Te Tiriti o Waitangi principles and accountabilities. I'm reading directly from the Auckland University handout here, and will ensure all students have their relevant knowledges of place, to enhance their learning. Irrespective of what they're learning, whether it's science, and believe me, the science educators aren't all that wonderfully happy about this, engineering, medicine, the like. It doesn't really matter. If you're going to Auckland University, you're going to get indoctrination, it would appear. And if you don't pass it, you won't be graduating. Joining us to talk about that, ACT MP, and I think she's in her third term now, she can let us know, but she's also chairperson of, now I just have a check, she'll be able to tell us actually, is Parmjeet Parmar. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Michael.
Listen, you're in your third go at being an MP. This is your third time. You've been in opposition 2 terms. You're in government. What's the difference?
So I was in government one term in opposition, and now again in government. And the difference is that previously I was a member of Parliament for the National Party. Now I'm very proud of the ACT Party.
Oh, that's right. You went from there to there. Yes, that's right. Were you a list MP for the National Party or a constituency MP?
Yeah, list MP all the time.
Oh, you've done. And now you're chairing, what is it, the Innovation and Science Committee?
Economic Development, Science and Innovation.
Okay, well, and that's the reason why we're talking to you this morning, because this curriculum intent at Auckland University has upset a number of folk, particularly educators and professors there, because it would seem to have a good element of, it's almost Marxist critical theory associated with it, but also because it is going to be compulsory for every student, irregardless. Is this what we want from our educational institutions?
So, Michael, I'm also the spokesperson for tertiary education and skills for the ACT Party, and I'll prefer talking to you as the spokesperson of tertiary education and skills rather than the chair of the Economic Development, Science and Innovation.
Okay, all right, that's fine.
Yeah, and so, yes, I am hearing about this, and it is actually quite concerning because that is not the direction we want to see University of Auckland taking. And I know that there is a bit of chaos happening at the University of Auckland. And initially it started a few weeks ago because of an announcement of some courses that are going to be potentially removed. And initially the understanding was that the courses that are going to be removed are the courses that are overlapping or there is duplication. But when academics received the list of the courses, they saw that there are some courses which are of high value. These are postgraduate courses where students get the opportunity to learn from experts. And that is actually the ultimate goal of the university, to build that capability. So because of that, there was an urgent meeting of Senate called last week. And in last week, what has happened is that has been voted against. And basically the message has been given to the University Council and Vice Chancellor that they should stop and have a good look at. Now, why I'm mentioning this course cuts is because these courses, which you have mentioned, which are going to be introduced for all faculties, even in sciences, even in medicine, engineering, every faculty within the science, that obviously will need some resources. And I wonder if that is because of the resources needed to introduce this compulsory first-year course, that other courses are needed to be removed. So there is a big question here about why this first-year compulsory course is needed, because the role of university is to look at what the market need is and prepare students for their future. But I don't see how this course is actually going to prepare students for their future and how it fulfills that requirement of preparing students for what is needed in this evolving market.
Well, the other thing that strikes me as interesting is that we tried to get Penny Simmons, the Minister for Tertiary Affairs or Issues, on the show. And we struck, unfortunately, her press corps, who sort of played tackle in between. But one of the responses from her press corps when we wanted to pose this question to her was that, whoever the press officer was that universities are autonomous institutions, which sort of rather meant, well, we're not going to do anything because they can do what they like. And we sort of pushed back against that and said, excuse me, this is taxpayers' money. These are public institutions. There is an accountability process surely for the use of taxpayers' money to the government of the day, and we haven't had a reply to that. Where do you stand on that?
So, Michael, I can't speak for the minister, but what I would say is that I would be hoping that minister will be keeping this in mind when council appointments, there are ministerial appointments as well, they come up. This issue is kept in mind because University of Auckland is our leading university, and it's really important for us to maintain the status of our education system. And it's not only for local students, because having, this compulsory course in the first year for students, which is going to be 15 points to actually pass the degree, can put off some students, not only overseas students, but also local students. And we need to keep that in mind that we are a small nation and we rely on exports. Exports bring us the revenue that we need to enjoy the lifestyle that we enjoy, and education is a big part of that export industry. And we want to see that we are continuing to provide that value internationally through our education system, that we bring in the revenue, because students coming from overseas, as you know, broadly, if I want to classify students, there are two types of students. One, those who want to get into any kind of course because they see that that is going to provide them a pathway to residency. But then students, those who are taking up like bachelor's, master's, or doctorate degrees, these students are quite serious students. And they bring serious revenue to our country. Not only they're paying for their own education, they are subsidizing others' education, and also contributing to the revenue that comes from export. So looking at education as our export industry is really important, and maintaining that standard is important. And here, what I'm seeing is that with this course, what is going to happen is basically they're setting a boundary to think within. Whereas I'm a scientist myself. For scientists, there should be no boundary set to think within. They should be able to contest ideas, come up with things they want to test. Because when you put something that is sacred, that is faith-based, or that is traditional knowledge-based, those are the things that have been passed from generation to generation, and they are sometimes quite hard to be challenged. And that's the biggest worry I have, that we are going to limit the capability of students to think and to do new things and to solve the problems of the world.